All right, hello, good morning, good evening, and good night. I hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic because today we're going to be talking about some of the buys that I just made within my portfolio. Now you can see my portfolio balance went down, and the reason being is because I transferred some funds over to a new margin account. You can see here I'm using some borrowed money, and I want to talk a little bit about my positions in both of these accounts, what I did to increase my position sizes, how many shares of Yieldmax I currently hold, because I did do a pretty big buy that I want to touch on, and I also want to touch on why now might be a good opportunity to buy Yieldmax, the Yieldmax Universal Funds Option Income Strategy ETF, which is diversified with 22 different Yieldmax ETFs, which I will talk about in this video. And I also want to go over and look at some of the underlying stocks like Exxon, Disney, and Apple to show you guys that there is some sort of buying opportunity here within these funds. They've all taken dips, and you know what? Now is the time that I felt was right in order to place another big trade. So I want to talk about that in this video. We're currently up to 5,369 subscribers. Please do subscribe if you're interested in anything with high dividend yields. We are investing in Yieldmax at the current time period, and so far, so good. I say so far, so good, and then we look at my position and you see that I'm down $275, which is at the current moment, it's okay because Yieldmax and the total market has been taking dips, and all I've been doing is buying throughout this period. I've been buying Yieldmax for the past 3 months, and I've already accumulated about $10,000 in this brokerage account here. But what I do want to show you is that in this recent downturn over the past month, where the S&P 500 has dropped roughly about 10% or so, we'll call it a little bit of a correction, I have been buying Yieldmax. And over the past month or so, you can see Yieldmax has fallen from $20 at the current share price and has fallen all the way down to about $17 at the worst, look like about $16.91. So what have I been doing? I have been buying Yieldmax, and Yieldmax is fairly diversified. Look, it's not as diversified as the S&P 500 itself. The S&P 500 holds 500 of the largest companies in the US stock market, but Yieldmax holds about 22 different underlying stocks, quote unquote, because they're all Yieldmax ETFs, but each Yieldmax ETF holds something different. For example, AMD, we have Amazon, Apple, Coinbase, Disney, Facebook. We also have a new one, which I have two. We have Ybit, which tracks Bitcoin stock price, and we also have GDXY, which tracks gold miners, which is, I would assume, a gold company. I haven't really looked into it too much. I have their Yieldmax ETF posted up here, and currently actually trending down since IPO, not doing very well there. But of course, they IPO'd in a time where the market has been falling too, so you have to give them that sort of credit. Of course, haven't looked into it that much because it's only one of the 22 Yieldmax ETFs that we own when owning Yieldmax. And the thing is, I do believe that over time, as Yieldmax has been doing, it's been adding new ETFs. So over time, it should get slowly and slowly a little bit more diversified. You could see here that in each ETF, you could see the weighting here roughly about 3 to 4% or so. Some are a little bit higher depending upon how their stock price is doing. If the stock price is doing better, then you're going to see that weighting go a little bit higher. If it's doing worse, you're going to see it most likely trending downwards like Coney has. So what am I talking about in this video? I want to talk about my recent share buys in my portfolio. And so for my position size, you can see here in Yieldmax, I'm currently up to 303 shares and have an average price of $19.76. That is fantastic. We're looking about $1 below the current share price. So as you can see, 303 shares is a decent amount. And I still have $1,500 in buying power to buy me about 50 to 60 more shares. And the thing is, why am I doing this? I'm doing this for monthly income. If I could take these 300 shares and continue to reinvest. My plan is not to take out this money just yet. My plan is to reinvest into more Yieldmax shares, and especially at these great prices at $17, I'm definitely looking to add more. But you can see where I bought here was 108 shares at $17.74, we'll say. And I did this using Norber's Gambit, or yeah, something like that. Basically where you're taking DLR.to and you're journaling your shares to DLR.u.to. And with this method, I was able to save myself, because I did $3,000 times 0.015, which is Questrade's fee for transferring funds from Canadian to US dollars, I would have paid $45 Canadian, when instead I only paid $5 for a commission fee using this method. And that was able to buy me actually about 1.5 more shares of Yieldmax, if you really wanted to, be specific about it. But any little things help. And in terms of this portfolio, I'm trying to take advantage fully of the dividends from Yieldmax, and also the price reduction that we just seen in the S&P 500, which translated to Yieldmax. So that was my recent buy, 108 shares. Definitely looking to add more. And the thing is, the more money that I add into this portfolio, the more money I'm going to receive on a monthly basis. And then in turn, the more shares I'll be able to reinvest and buy every single month. And what have I done? I've also opened up a margin account. The reason being is because in order to really become financially free, it's very important to learn how to use debt. I'm taking a small step here, only invested about $250, and I also took about $106 from my other portfolio, my cash account, and added it to this one. So basically, what am I doing? I'm basically doubling my investment here. So I took $250 and I really put in about $500. I doubled my shares. So instead, I would only have been able to purchase about 10 shares of Yieldmax, but instead I purchased 20 shares. So I am essentially a 1-to-1 ratio in terms of my debt. And so I have a lot more buying power, and I could use a lot more debt within this portfolio. I will look to do so as I become better. But the strategy for this portfolio is not to just become heavily indebted with a high paying and potentially, volatile ETF such as Yieldmax. The kind of reasoning behind it is I'm going to take my money in my main portfolio and invest it at any given point. I'm going to take my $1,500 and invest it periodically. But in my margin account, I'm only going to be investing in Yieldmax when I see fantastic buys that I cannot ignore, like the one that we recently had at 1771. I'm totally cool buying Yieldmax at 1771, and I'm totally cool taking on a little bit of debt if I'm buying Yieldmax at 1771 and I see the market is down and has the potential to bounce back. So that is why I opened up a margin account. I will only be buying Yieldmax when I see opportunities. I will not just be blindly buying Yieldmax when I'm using debt. I will only, not blindly, but I will be buying Yieldmax very more frequently at any point. I'm not looking to time the market. I'm just looking to get in and get more shares. But in terms of my margin account, definitely have to be a little more cautious when I'm buying my shares. So hopefully we're going to see this portfolio value skyrocket very soon, because definitely looking to add a little bit more money, but I really want to look for great opportunities within Yieldmax. And I do believe we're currently at one. You could see here I have a bunch of the underlying stocks, which is JP Morgan Chase, we have Exxon, we have Disney, and they all have been trending down over the past few months. So what I do want to say is definitely keeping my eye out. We also had Ybit, which Bitcoin stock price had a huge decline in the past month. And so that was also one affecting Yieldmax and all those, all of its underlying stocks as well. Not directly, but all the stocks in Yieldmax have had a pretty decent dip, which contributes to Yieldmax's dip. And so it definitely an opportunity for me to buy more, which is what I'm doing and taking advantage of. So this was just a little updated video because I wanted to show you guys my portfolio buy, roughly about $3,000 so definitely a decent buy. Definitely looking to add more in the future and grow both of these accounts. I'll keep you guys posted on that. Currently, I view an opportunity. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Definitely looking to hear your opinion on what you think the present price of Yieldmax is like in your opinion. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We're up to 5,369 subscribers. Do your thing, subscribe, like, and I will catch you guys in the next video.